All right, welcome, welcome. And we are live. And I just got to get to the Discord, get everybody on. Here, live. Share screen. Double live. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. Not wait as people join into the Discord. We'll start with some Apple. AAPL. Watch list. All right, so go ahead, guys. Just shoot me some ideas. What you're trading, what you're looking after, what you want to look at, and we'll just kind of go down. Don't be afraid to talk, as my allergies are attacking me today. So my voice sounds horrible. But that's all right. So let's grab this. We'll just use this as our main screen for the day. What'd you say, Abel? All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and start with Apple, and if you guys have any ideas, shoot it to the Discord. Tell me here, and then okay. Yes, I can. All right, so if you guys were here for the last stream, you will notice that I almost to the T said what was going to happen and what I was hoping for in Apple. Because I think that we noticed that there was a big drop in the market uh, in the after hours. I think Apple was trading down here at like 117. And I was saying that I hope that we get a bigger drop because I was already short after the action of the previous day on Thursday. So I was already short Apple. But all the pre-market it opened up and it was like kind of bullish in the morning, weirdly bullish, but VIX was still high, so I kept my position short. And after a big pop up to 123, we just had like a massive fall. And unfortunately, I didn't have any day trades available, or I was gonna grab a whole bunch of puts on Apple and just short it for the day, expecting it to go back down not only below the 117 but down to these little support levels here that we've seen from the previous days. And I said, hey, I'm out no matter what at 114. That's my profit target on my short, and that I expected it to actually probably rip down past it, maybe not hit the lows. But I said, hey, expect if it hits these lows here that we may have a real big back rip back up, and that's exactly what happened. Like it hit that 114. I was out, although I could have held and probably made another 300, 400 more, but that's okay. doesn't matter as long as you take your profits where you plan to do that. But now we are sitting basically at where it closed Thursday. And a couple points here or there. What, 8 cents up? Yeah. So, uh, and if your last chat, it was I expected just kind of chop here at 122 between 122 and this 116, probably for the rest of the week. Honestly, um, more volatile moves the first 2 days, um, and then Thursday and Friday probably pretty calm, and hopefully that'll set us up for a nice rally coming into the next week, maybe Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Uh, I have no real markers I want to put up. We see that there's some good price structure at the 123 level, but we also see that it kind of it really likes that level, but at the same time it really makes big moves off of that and just kind of either rips through it or down or up. So it's a good level, and then you can also keep track of the trend using your moving averages, but I don't use them as a target by any means. Only previous support or previous resistance will be targets. You may learn from other traders that they use these as their targets. I'm not a fan. I just use them as a way of seeing direction, and or places like this where there's contraction. So that's about it. Uh, the wider, the more long you can probably get. That's just that. So yeah, I'm just gonna stick with my plan for this week. I don't see much action long. I doubt we really get above 126, 128 range. I doubt it. I don't even know if we get it back above these highs of 122. I think we're just gonna sit here in between 122 and 114, chop, and I'll be looking to get long again. Uh, Probably by the end of the week. Does anybody have any stocks that they're looking at? Or I'm just going to go on to the next one. And then we see Amazon, roughly the same type of idea that Apple had, that it went for the day. Uh, Pretty much the whole entire market had the same move. A little bit of pullback in the morning from the big drop, and then a huge drop, and then a lot of buyers coming back in to hold it up. had this marked, but now that it's broke, I'm going to just remove it from my trend lines. So I'll keep these short-term resistance and support levels here, and kind of what do we expect. So obviously down here at our bottom will be our heavy support. When you have your babies, let me know so I can breastfeed him or her. And let's see. I can get gross if y'all come on. I would use this as level of support since we see it held really well prior, and then also was, or excuse me, was resistance before, support here. And then obviously the buyers bought it up past the last support and back up through it again. So it's a good place to look for price structure when planning trades coming into this day. Let's go a little bit closer so that we can see a little more intraday action. She had a whole, I didn't like working with them for Auntie. Really honestly, with all the volatility that was in it, it's really hard to find any intraday plays coming in for Tuesday. I think that you would just play off your 5-minute, looking for breaks of the previous day. I don't think there's any swing trades that really any setups right now for swing trades. Everything's dried up as far as swing trades are concerned, but day trades I think are definitely in play coming into Tuesday. We're going to see a lot of movement in Amazon, especially if you're trading. Use some debit spreads of that sense, either puts or calls. I think that you can play a put debit spread off of anything that hits 3,400 and just try to find a nice, quick, quote unquote, scalp. Let's remove that trend line and just be looking for, I think anything that, if anything gets above our close here at 13 or 32.95, if we see it a little bit of a break above and then we've seen some action back down below it, I think that's another sign to go short in the intraday for Tuesday. So be looking for that. This break here. I'll highlight this in a different color because this will be the key for our any day trade setups is going to be there for Amazon. No reason to just do that on your own charts. I don't think it's necessary to copy this into our Discord because it's pretty obvious. It's easy to see. Just anything that happens from the close here of yesterday, or excuse me, Friday. Okay. EVFM. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't trade. I don't really trade anything below $5. I can find some quick trend lines, but I'm not gonna talk through it because I don't really day trade pennies or whatever this is. Trend line. We see some pretty obvious locations here. This is very volatile. I know it's not a penny stock. Don't correct me. but definitely a very low price stock. It likes to make moves. I like it above previous high over here back in August or late August. Obviously, anything above highs is a momentum play. So anything over 370 is probably an easy long for maybe a 10. Looks like it when it breaks above, it goes about. So previous move was obviously 40 cents. That's the next day. So you could probably easily look for a quick 20 cents off of any break of highs. It seems to be holding 320 well. So you can maybe play bounces. So if you have a quick down, you can probably buy at 320 as a speculative reversal play, or you can wait for the actual reversal confirmation and wait for like a 5-minute candle to close after 320 bounce. But I don't really care for it, so kind of play at your own risk. I'm not a big fan of really anything below 10 cents outside of NIO, but which is or $10-$20. All right, what else? Spy. Yeah, we can do Spy. That's always a good one. We'll start on the daily. Let's remove old stuff. So for Spy, I don't necessarily actively trade it. And you'll hear me say this a million times. I don't actively trade Spy. I know a lot of people that do. I don't like intraday trading Spy because it does not really hold price well. Like my type of plays, my favorites are above highs go long, below lows go short, and it likes to like dip, go down, touch support, go below support, rip back up, come back down. It's really you'll notice that in your intraday plays how you can see that market makers and traders really like to, or higher level traders really test people's stops and stop losses when it comes to support and resistance levels on Spy, and I don't like that. I like things that are a little bit cleaner. So I won't intraday Spy, but what I do with Spy is I use it as my key of, do I continue to hold a position overnight, or it will be a hedge move for me, so I can short Spy, short the Qs as a hedge. So I'll like put like 2 or 3 20-30 delta puts on Spy if I'm heavy long and I have a feeling that the Spy might roll over. Maybe it's at previous highs and I have like 2 or 3 longs. Let's say my account's a $6,000 account and I'm about $4,000 long and I'm holding that overnight, and Spy really isn't above its previous highs, but it's kind of sitting there. I'll put a hedge on Spy as a way of mitigating a little bit of risk to my longs, but I will not play Spy as a position play itself. But that's just me. But we can kind of go over a couple places to look for. Kind of like with Amazon, same deal here. Really, so you know that Spy is probably long. Anything above 348, and that's good for the market as well. I think it's just, and for next week, I think we're going to be range bound here. Very volatile range bound, because this is a pretty big range for an entire market. There's 336 and 347 for the entire market. 10-point range is a nasty range to be in. But we're gonna be really volatile this week. I doubt that I'll swing trade much. I think I'm gonna really look for some solid positions to get some day trades in, and I might have 10 or maybe 20% of my account in a swing if I really like it. But I want to wait until I see SPY have some further continuation to the long side, getting up here into 350 to start really being aggressive with my swing trades. So be on the lookout for just a whole bunch of chop between yesterday's volatile acts, and as you see, it had its little indecision candle per se. All right, well, it's hammer, but a lot of the other ones we'll see. It's sort of hammer, has a little top. Like Amazon had that kind of indecision candle where it doesn't. This just means anytime you see two big wicks on the end of any body of a candle, that just means it's not really sure where it wants to go. So you kind of wait for the next day to give you some confirmation. So we won't really know what the heck is going to happen. And so really the same thing with SPY. The market obviously doesn't really know where it wants to be, so I think it's going to try to find a little bit of cushion somewhere in here. But all in all, I don't think the market's burning. It's wrong of anybody to assume that we're just going to continue to fall. But it could happen. I say like 10% chance we roll over and fall back to 300. 80% chance we just sit here and grind, and then maybe a 20% we go long still. So that is my idea and analysis of SPY. And again, I'm not going to write it up because there's no real definite move here. It's hard to draw trend lines on a 2-day massive fall to move like we've had. So there's no point in drawing a whole bunch of lines that mean nothing, in my opinion. All right, so let's go to Boeing. Boeing burned me, and I've been really staying away from it because no trader wants this. I mean, what is this? We've had 3 months of trading between 190 and 165. I guess you can play off of those numbers and try to catch it up and down as it goes, but at the same time, it's literally just been sitting in between them. So anytime you play an options play and you're 1, 2, let's say I bought the put here, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days before it actually hit the bottom of that channel. That's called theta decay, and you lost. I don't see any option play that you won there. It's not a whole lot of volatility in it. Obviously, everything's very volatile right now, but using IV rank, which kind of basically takes a year look at volatility, and then it says, okay, here's where it's at compared to the year. And it's at the bottom 24%. So really even credit spreads probably is not your best look, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, it looks great, but it may not. The only thing to note really is that it's in a squeeze. But at the same time, I don't want to be long because we have this 200-day moving average just slowly coming in. And I think it would, in a lot of institutional trading, uses this as a very high probability expression in the market. And it's not worth it to be in a trade that's that close to that thing. So as far as Boeing's concerned, I think there's nothing to do. You really can't go long. Maybe equity. Maybe if you're long forever, you know. Um, this is a great time to be accumulating shares because you can just next week you're probably going to be able to get them for again for 170, and the next week again another 170, next week another 170. So maybe it's a great longer term play with your own capital as far as maybe your retirement account or something of that case. Now, whenever I'm talking about that, do your due diligence on the fundamentals. Uh, but if you like get a little bit of dividend, obviously they've been losing. They've been their earnings have been horrible because there's not as many contracts out there right now for airplanes because nobody's flying because of COVID. So maybe you can take advantage of that. Maybe you think, hey, in the next 3, 4, 5 years, this thing will be back up in the $400 range, and I have doubled my money plus some in the long run. So something to look at like that. But as far as short term, what we like to do, day trading and swing trading, there's nothing here. What else? What else? Workhorse. Okay. Yeah, looks good. Um, that quick eyeball look. We obviously see an uptrend that's doing what we like to do. We like that staircase look. It looks like it's been holding really well through the last 2 days of trading, which is even better. For you could be less scared of the whole market being down and then this being down with it when it's obviously showed that it can hold. It's holding its place. The only thing I'm worried about in the longer run is that it seems like it's holding here. I don't think I'm going to make any plays as far as I'm concerned, as far as the swing trade, unless we get something above the last high. Because we broke a previous high, so I'll just make a note here. Look for long above 2290. What I do like is that it's in a squeeze, or it was in a squeeze, a very long one too, which is typically normal after a massive run up like this. But we love to see that it held that run up. So went from $2 up to $22, which is what, 1,000% gain, and or more than that, right? 10,000%. What is that? I don't do good math. 1,000 is 10 times. Yeah. Okay. 1,000% run up. Came down, held. Tried to make another run for it. Obviously had some selling. Maybe people are worried that it wasn't going to make it up there again, but came right back down. Held, and now we're starting to staircase. Trend lines are up, which is for me again, it's just an indication of where it's going. So all of them are above each other, which is great. I would say for the speculative people, look for a break over 21. For a long, I would not be in it already. I know you said you're in it already, but I think it's too much chop here. Over the past 2.5 months to be in already. I would want some confirmation above 21, but definitely looking to be long over 23. And I got my alert set, so should probably do the same thing.
I won't make our chicken, okay?
Yeah, no problem. Hey, you're cutting out quite a bit. I have no clue what you just said. A little bit, yep. Yeah, it's.
Want a cookie?
I don't know. I don't know if it's bad reception or what,
Want a grab
but definitely can't hear you. Go ahead and just type it out.
You want an apple? Want some strawberries?
Okay.
Well,
In the meantime, I'm gonna go through like two or three more, and I'm gonna head out for the night.
what?
Unfortunately, it kind of sucks that we didn't have as much. It just don't seem like there's much to do because those two volatile days. So we'll probably be playing it by ear and doing a lot of day trading by ear as the day and the week progresses. So it's really not much prep we can do outside of just waiting for confirmation of the market to go higher or lower, and then we'll play it accordingly. Let's see. We can definitely go over Tesla. I know that's a big name. You know, with Tesla hitting here, and I think it's already down because it missed the S&P. It just seems to hold well when overall market is down, especially if Tesla's down. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So we got what is that? MS? What is MS? Oh, Morgan Stanley, of course. Okay. Morgan Stanley. I think that's a good three. So we'll end there. So Tesla, Morgan Stanley, Peloton, and Costco. We'll end on those four. Kind of go through quick. I think this is super healthy for Tesla. By the way, a lot of people got burned on this drop, but extremely healthy. I think this also might even hit some Fibonacci numbers. So let's check and see.
Okay, which one?
I think I turned them off though.
Green, purple. Which one? Blue, green, purple. Here. Which one do you want?
I don't know.
Purple,
I don't think this is
green,
it. I think I'm
blue. Purple, green,
pretty interesting.
blue. Which one do you want?
So it's 100% of the
Pick
previous.
one. Pick one. Blue.
So it's sitting at the 100% of the last low to high,
Good.
which is an interesting Fibonacci number.
Blue.
I need to turn on my other ones though.
Blue. Let me open it for you. Let me open it.
Okay, well,
You don't want me to,
This is
you don't want mommy to open it.
roughly here. And then we just got to turn a couple of these on. I don't like the inside Fibonacci numbers. I use Fibonacci as a target, a price target. So I don't use it as a inside number or inside the 100%. But let's do that. Let's turn on these, the 50% and the 618 and the 786. That really didn't touch them as well. Obviously, 50%. So from low to high, we retrace 50%, which in any market, that's good. That's healthy. Because if we just kept on ripping and we only pulled back like 10% and then kept going like we did here, this is slightly unhealthy. But we know why it happened. So if this was just happening before a split, without all those recommendations on, what was it? One lady was saying that it's like going to 8,000 or something of that sense, and then now she's saying even with this, we're looking at 1,600. So there's a lot of money involved. Also, the biggest reason this run up was so impressive, it's so intense, was that I think Tesla is the second most shorted stock on the market. So whenever you start breaking levels, especially like we did it first back here, and then we literally just started doing it again. When you start breaking levels where your hedge funds and these multi-million-dollar companies have margined out shorts, if they can't continue to hold margin, they have to close, and or their broker closes them out. And I think that is what we've seen here. We've seen pull out, seen pullouts again, and then when it hit here, this was a massive stop out for a lot of those funds that were short Tesla. And so they had to get out, and then we've seen this massive run up, which is caused by them buying back. And then when you see that huge volume of buyback, then you obviously have this big push, which leads into an unhealthy market upwards, which is good for us as retail investors, and there's a lot of retail investors. I think there was 50% of Robinhood accounts are in Tesla, which is an insane number. So that's why we've seen that run up, and so this is healthy. This is good. Yes, I'm sorry that you got blown up, or your account blown up because you were buying up here at 500 or 2,000 or what was it, 2,500, whatever it was before the split. You should just have a stop loss set well before that. You should know that this run up is huge and is a time to take profits. So as far as where to look next, obviously our lows of Friday. Whatever this line is, so it's 404, 405. This seems to be a very significant number. As it went down there, stopped there, we have this candle here, which opened and closed there, so as almost like a magnet. And then we opened here again. So this is a very interesting number. And then you also see how the price really rotated through that number when coming up here as well, between 4 and 5. So it's a very important number. So whatever this is important for us. So you don't want to make trades until this is a confirmed, so either up or down. So I'd be really, really careful with making any trades here, because we see that the price loves to go through it heavily here. I would say I'd be more long, of course, more long bias. So I'd probably wait for a decent trade to go long. So maybe, let's say they came down here, like it will be doing is 390. I'm sure it's probably going to open up a little bit lower than that, maybe 380, 375. And I would look for it to come back up, retest this. If it breaks it, it's probably a good time to get long for another push up into the previous highs. Maybe if you have 1 or 2 contracts or 1 or 2 debit spreads, you can scale off 50% of it here and then look for a retest of the 500. So honestly, if it breaks here, I think it's just going to start ripping. So this 430 is a big number, and if it breaks that, then you can start having higher price targets. Anything in here, if you're buying calls in here, you're wild and very speculative, and be ready to lose, because if it stays in here, it's bound to drop lower, and then you're going to be in the Discord saying Tesla go Tesla when it's not wanting to. Anyways, let's see. Morgan Stanley, love it. Actually, I really like the financial sector in general. So you can look at JP Morgan, Bank of America, Regions, financials. The only thing I'm worried about with all of them, their 200-day moving average. Goldman Sachs, I like Goldman Sachs probably the best, as it's holding its 200.
I think I was just talking about the
200
the
day
details
here.
for each day.
It's a
Kind of
good one to
planning
get long
few
above
things for people to
215,
do. Like
216,
a group can
217.
go to yeah,
Anywhere in there is
a group can go to the science
it's a
industry. A group can go to
pretty decent long.
the Sears
As
Tower.
we can
You
see
know,
that
trying to figure out what days
it's
that
still
is.
uptrending,
Just kind of planning the activities
and all the trend
making
lines
it
are
available
starting to
so
come
we can
back
have
above
an
the
agenda
200-day
ready for
moving
everybody
average.
so
So
they know what to do and
it seems to be
if
the
they want to
most stable as
participate and
far
what
as
time to
the
meet up and stuff like
technicals
that.
of the chart is concerned.
Trying to give people time to
So
explore
I
on
will
their
go
own too
back
if
to
they
Morgan
want to do
Stanley because you
that.
asked for it. So this is a good one though. I haven't really looked at Morgan Stanley. So it's kind of like deeper back. It's almost at all-time highs, which is great.
Surprise them with what?
It's starting to squeeze, which is fantastic. I really like it.
Yeah, we can do that.
I like
We
it
can
a
always
lot,
have
actually.
like whoever registers. We can have
I
like
would say we could probably get some.
whoever
I'm going to send
register.
alert.
We can get their names. You know, and
Anything
we can
above. What number is that? 40.
or we can do some icebreakers.
Let's just say
for top of us.
5450.
Icebreakers where people have to get up and
Long
find out
negative
information about
calls.
each other and then come back and
Because there's really not much structure here until we hit 56, 57 and a half. And the calls should be decently cheap. So
yeah, we could do icebreakers and stuff like that.
So like $4, we can get in the money, where you can buy a whole bunch of at the money
on Friday
calls. If it
and maybe
breaks,
we can have some prizes
that-
that day. We can get like a couple
and
of gift
let's see,
baskets.
it's
for
roughly
different
the
games
same.
we play or whatever.
So
One might be a bottle of champagne. One might be a basket blow by race. You know.
So these will be
One
in the
might
money,
be
and they're probably going to be worth roughly $250 a
one might be
piece
a painting by
if it gets to
Rita,
that breakout
something
level.
might be $50
And I
gift
think that is
card, you know.
worth 3 or 4 contracts there. I would definitely go a little bit longer out on your calls if you're swinging it. That's my plan. I'm not talking about day trading it here. I'd be swinging because we see it can
Yeah. And then like
it can
at,
sit
you know,
here
at
and
the,
we can lose our
a day
premium
you might
if
be
it sits
popcorn
there
from
too long.
Garrett's.
Because we'll
Like,
see
you know,
we're
everybody
day
like
2 of
little
a squeeze,
things of
and it
Garrett's
looks like it likes to
popcorn,
hold
people come in, or, you know what I'm
like
saying?
weeks in the squeeze, so
At the
it's
end
kind of
the
dangerous.
week,
But
'cause some
we're
Saturday might
doing
be
really well
so
in this
you might
uptrend.
have to leave early Sunday and not be able to participate in.
So it looks good. Looks good for a long, for sure.
You know.
Anything above 54.50, I'm long. I'll actually will be long because
I got a cookbook.
that's a great setup, and it's holding the wedge really nicely. If for those that are wedge traders.
No, so
Excuse me.
Thursday people can come in if they want. You know, everybody's coming in. It might be something
gosh,
small on
cannot
Thursday,
click.
which might be like the rooftop, and then Friday.
So
is
those
the
that are wedge
meet and greet,
traders,
Saturday is the picnic.
once it breaks
and
that
Sunday is
and then holds,
closed.
I think that's a
Right?
that's a
Sunday is
beautiful
all
setup.
the eating events
Good call.
we gonna have,
Snack man,
church,
I appreciate that, man.
and then brunch, and then people can go home.
This is why I do
And
this,
then that brunch
because it gives me great ideas as well.
However.
Thank you.
Or we can even.
Let's see here.
No, because
PTON.
not everybody's gonna stay. Not everybody's gonna be here Monday. People want to go home, and
Woo.
you know what I'm saying.
Earnings.
So Sunday.
When is earnings? Is that day of? The 10th, Thursday. I won't trade it till earnings. Thank you. Scissors.
Well, Monday. I mean, people can stay till Sunday if they want to and go
Yeah,
home.
I won't trade it till earnings.
Or
It's
they
too
can
close.
go home Sunday right after it or before it, because not everybody's not gonna be able to
Even if,
stay
I like to say, oh yeah, I'd probably play it if it goes
Some people might
above
have to leave
high.
Sunday morning and
Still
we'll
really
do
risky.
the brunch in church. But
So,
Saturday
honestly,
is
there's
the
not
main thing.
really
Everybody gets
much
together
to talk about with
and,
Peloton until after earnings, till we
Mondays
see
is
what
like,
the heck it's gonna do.
and,
But it's definitely on an extremely
see,
awesome
and wait to see
uptrend.
the year after next.
in what, 4 months, and we've tripled our price. It's pretty sexy, you know, like as far as how we want price action to go. So as far as calls and trends are concerned, I would be willing to swing this after earnings if we start retesting highs. And somebody said how to pick a price target. Well, it really just depends on where the stock's at. So quick reference, what I would do
Thursday after 3 when they can check in
is, although I wouldn't do it for this, it'd be a little different. It depends on your account size. It depends on where the stock's trading at, and if it's at all-time highs. If it's at all-time highs,
we might plan
and then your trading plan, of course. So you always want to have a trading plan. Like how much do you want to make off of every trade? So we can start with Fibonacci's. If it breaks the 620, or excuse me, I don't know where the heck where 620 came from. 9250. It breaks 9250. I like to see a run up to the 618. So I would think that if the normal run will be to 105 from here. So I would be willing to swing a trade above the highs up to 105. Now, if this breaks prior to earnings, I'm probably still going to wait till earnings to see what the heck to do. Now, again, let's do another example real quick of price target. I think this is price target on Amazon.
Thursday and Friday can be the museum.
Oh,
it's
gosh.
not nothing real major. As long as everybody gets to meet and greet.
This is not a good
You can do
example.
whatever you want to do that Thursday and Friday. As long as you have to meet and greet.
Let's just say
yes.
if we were trading Boeing.
Yes, exactly. We can have stuff
because this would be good because it's kind of bouncing.
You don't have
if I were to say I want to play this over the previous high
go to the museum,
here at 183,
you can do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I would buy above the breakout,
you don't even have to do any of those
above these highs of 183 and a half.
Right.
And because I see other highs, I would make my first price target those highs. So after 183 and I get in, let's say I get in at 184,
work out some kinks.
I would only have my first price target here at 188 or 189. And I will intentionally get out of at least 50 to 75% of my account or my contracts at that place, because that's the place of previous resistance where it likes to turn back around. So that's just an example. Now, if you have a $1,000 account and you put $500 into this trade and it goes up $5 and that is a 40% of your account, or 40% of the trade. So let's say it made you $200. I am not willing to risk losing that $200 because $200 on a $1,000 account is 20%. I'm going to take that and run with it. I'm going to close it all. I'm going to close the whole entire position out. Even if I had 6 contracts, you cannot get greedy, especially with small accounts. If you have a 20 to 50% winner, especially if it's 20 to 50% of your entire account, close the position. Do not be like, oh, it closed at highs. So it didn't really close at it closed at 188.20, but not 188.9. So I'm going to hold it because it's going to gap tomorrow. It's going to go. Well, good luck, because last time I did that, it went down here to went it back to your starting point at 183 and you lost all your money that you were in. Close your trades, take your profits. If it gaps up the next morning, good job, you called it, but at least you got profit. So that's my lesson on that. Close it. If you have a $10,000 account and it's a $800 trades up 40% and you have 4 contracts, close 3 of them, let 1 run.
You can look up his name.
Simple as that. What's your trading plan? Make it and execute it. Do not hold your entire account overnight. right? Okay. And lastly is Costco.
Where's your popsicle at? Go get it.
Well, it's back at my previous. I think I even played it here. I think I bought here on this day when it broke this price level. As you see that I marked it before. I actually have this marked up. Took 1, 2, 3. I think I sold here, and then everybody and their mama. Oh,
I mean,
or no, I didn't. I sold it
an
on this day.
imitation more so of
I did
us
sell on
not-
this day.
More so of
So I
us
caught on the
getting
break.
maybe a web
I had a
page
debit spread because I
and
wanted
then
it wide. I
sending
had
out
like
that
a
link.
40 or 50 wide debit spread on this.
And,
It was like a 3.
well,
I want to
guess
say it
we
was a
can.
350
No, that's Bruh. We gotta give it to Bruh.
by 380, and I played it up to the 360, and it was like a 40% winner. I just took it. I'd have to
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
look
with
again
a
on
website,
how that worked
we
out, but it was
have
good.
a link where people
All right,
can go
so
ahead and pay
we
their
have
money
the
on
breakout
PayPal
out of the
or,
wedge. We have the
you know what I'm
breakout
saying?
above
They can
all-time
have all that
highs,
links in
resistance.
there. They can have
So that
everything
resistance
out
could
there,
become
itinerary
support.
if they want
It
to.
bounced off support,
The
ripped up,
website to
came
the
back down, and it's
hotel will be
retesting.
on there. The prices
This is
to
this
certain
is
places
exactly what
will
we
be
want
on
as a
there.
trader, especially going long.
They can start. Maybe we can
All
start
our
figuring out how we can start paying money
moving
now
average are
to go
stacked.
towards a certain account so they can
Beautiful.
get there.
Again, I think tomorrow and this week is gonna be really choppy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for this to continue to hold, and I will look for strong moves above the previous day's high. And I don't like this as a representative because this was just like a gap up in the morning and it just got sold off just like the rest of the market did. So I don't like using this as support since it didn't actually have time to trade there.
Hold the cup. Give it to your
It just sold off because
be careful.
the market was selling off. It wasn't true price structure. It wasn't that it actually wanted to trade there, have that as resistance. So I would say more or less this is our better resistance, and which honestly was
Okay, great, amazing,
oh
great,
my
great,
gosh,
great, great.
resistance of the
And there's
close.
gonna be a lot of stuff to do for Juneteenth.
So as we see,
Good.
that close of the previous day was actually kind of where it stopped the last 2 hours of Friday as well. But it's holding that 130 or 345 and a half here really well. So I think it's going to sit here and chop.
Give me the cup.
I think we're going to... Oh. The baby's getting in trouble. Okay. So what I will do is... There's really no structure. I'll wait for some more consolidation. And I think it could come back up here, test this 354. And if that is true resistance again, we'll see it come back down and retest this number, this 348. And then I want to see another push. So I'm going to wait for it to push up, get rejected, come down, test, push back up. And once I see it go back above that next high that we make, that will be a good entry long. And that's kind of all I have. I am not. What if you're already long? Which one? Which one?
Yesterday.
What are you already long? Costco?
They ain't ate nothing.
What are you
Well, I
long?
mean, they had lunch
What's
and
your play?
breakfast, but they haven't eaten dinner. I really.
Can you share your
I'm about to
trade?
air fry some chicken wings and make some rice real quick.
Test at the money. I am up 50%. Test
All
at
right,
the
I'm
money.
excited. Woo, we got some plans. 2021, and then the
All-time high.
following year we can start talking about us going to Europe.
You're
if
up.
anybody want to join
You're
us.
up 50%
Go
on
to
what?
Europe
On what?
for 2022, or we can start like at the family reunion at night.
On my
We
350
can ask
strike calls.
who wants to do it again? Who wants to do it the following year? Like maybe
For October
you
16th?
know somebody might. Yeah, but everybody's so scattered out. There's not enough. You think it'd be enough for somebody to host it
Okay.
the following year? Like if Alexis
So
says
you got
she
it
happened in
at.
LA, you think she'd be
You got him. Wait, you must
okay
have
to
been
host
playing
by
this for a
herself,
while.
or us help her host it somehow in LA? Or
I don't know, man.
or maybe
I would be
Missouri,
very
if Ray wants
cautious.
to host it, or
If you bought it here, you bought the bottom, or did you buy it back
me host it here in
a
St.
week
Louis.
ago?
Well, I don't
Where
live
did you
in
get
St.
it?
Louis. I live in
Because that can
Illinois.
help me out. Okay, so why didn't you close it before? It's so much better question. I think you should already been out.
Right. We can
I think
we can schedule our first meeting after Eddie's
your
birthday party.
I think that Thursday that it dropped below the low of that Wednesday should have been your exit. Although you lost like 14 points. Because that would have been a 14-point move. My goodness. You could have had a $28 or $27 call. Yeah, man, you should have been out a long time ago. Long time ago. But you're still at 50%. Which means that you were up like 150%.
Yeah, I was thinking about that on Saturday. Maybe
I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not trying to call you out. You gotta protect those gains, man.
A balloon release.
Even if you're up 50%, and now you're kind of hoping that it comes back up. And I doubt it. Highly doubt it. And it's back up here now. Close to at where it's at. With a lot of winter not. That's right. I have let a lot of winter not run, and this I held this one. Okay. See, yeah. You should have closed it. I wish there was a better answer. Because you could have closed it like when it started falling down heavy. Probably got out at like $20 on it. Even though you lost like 400 on the way down, you could have still closed somewhere in here at like $20 on the call, and now it's at 14. I still think you close it because I think that even let's say you made $5. Let's say how much you got to do to get another 500 out of this thing, or well, what do we got to do? This will be my last here. So if it goes up $5, you make $200 more. Theta decay is not horrible. Let's let's just say it sits here for the rest of the week. That's you're losing about 160. You're hoping for a $5 push for $200. Sorry. You're hoping for a $5 push to make you $200. But what it's looking like is that it could either go further down, and Theta Decay will lose you at least 200 guaranteed. So I think closing Tuesday immediately is probably your best bet. But obviously, trade your own trades. You know.
Now I gotta wash your hands. Come on.
But I hate for you to lose that profit, man.
Yeah.
I hate for that. I hate to see that.
I'm making your birthday cake tomorrow.
Cause then you can always get it back. You can always get back in. But you definitely can't make those losses come back. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys coming out. Thanks for the Morgan Stanley idea. I got the alert set. I think everybody else has some alerts set as well. And we'll probably come back like Thursday, see how the week's going, and start planning for the next week. Because honestly, I doubt that I trade much this week at all. It's going to be super choppy and really aggravating. Because you're going to get in, you're going to get whipsawed so hard. You're going to close out too early, or yeah, it's not going to be good. So just be careful next week, or coming in Tuesday through Friday. Later, y'all.